possession. Wildermuth to Bota. 19 required. He hits it hard on the leg side and gets it to the rope.
That's his shot. That is his shot, isn't it? Very good on the short ball. Not as good driving. Beautiful shot under pressure.
Sitting back waiting for that delivery, wasn't he? He knew that he couldn't pitch up. He's got mid-off up inside the circle and mid-on also inside the circle. He's not going to commit onto the front foot and try and hit the ball hard down the ground, which is the mistake that Enriquez made. Still at the slot and got whacked.
That's still a good shot, though, isn't it? Under pressure. That right out of the middle. 15 from 11. All of a sudden, a little bit of pressure eases for the Sixers.
He comes right back onto Wildermuth, though. He dropped his head as soon as that one rocketed off the bat. There's a second attempt. It's fallen, it's slow, and it's driven, and it's another boundary to Johan Bota.
Oh, tremendous batting under pressure. That was the slower ball. Off-cutting type delivery, and he's hit that right out of the middle as well, Johan Bota. That is a class shot under pressure. Trouble now for the Heat. Need to get rid of Johan Bota. Cross-seam delivery, but it's a half volley. Bang. Gone.
Just 11 required now. Pressure right on Wildermuth. He's a well-dressed gentleman at the cricket. A touch nervous, the Heat fans now. Been through the full gamut of emotions tonight. What can Wildermuth do? He's chatting now with Cutting. A lot of discussions going on. Now he's set. Bota's hit the last two balls to the rope. It's a dot. Listen to the crowd.
We're very happy. Very happy. The Teal supporters. Tension. You can see it in McCullum's face. Wildermuth under pressure. Johan Bota's cool as a cucumber with the bat. Sean Abbott not so cool at the non-striker's end.
Good man for this situation, though, Johan Bota. Very good temperament, smart cricketer.
Oh, that's a clever shot. Fine leg, he's very, very square, and it's another boundary. Johan Bota's putting on a wonderful display under enormous pressure here. He's hit 3 or 4 deliveries to the fence.
That's great batting. That is great batting. Great variety of shots. He's played a hook shot. He's played a drive over mid-off, and then the lap sweep off Wildermuth. It takes courage and skill, and he's got both. This is a tremendous little innings. 14 from 8. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's just about going to get the Sixers over the line here. 7 from 8 now.
Yeah, well, that happened, boys. He was able to play that shot because of the shot hit over extra cover earlier in the over. Brendan McCullum had to change the field. Wildermuth got the delivery wrong, which allowed Bota to hit that shot over there, but then he had to change his field, worried about going back there again. Fine leg comes really square. Square leg comes up inside the circle, and then he's able to play one of his strengths, which is that lap sweep against the quicks.
Cutting continues to talk to Wildermuth. McCullum just moves backwards squarer, touch squarer. They need an X, they need a wicket. The home side, Bota. Clever cricket. He's hurrying away. He looks like he's coming back. Abbott says no. 6 required, 7 balls to come. Will Sean Abbott try and get it done this ball?
I reckon he may as well try. Why not? Bota's going to be on strike for the last over. I'm going for it.
We saw Joe Burns try the same thing, didn't we? Just a couple of nights ago up here. They had 5 required, I think, to win there, and he went for the maximum to win the game. They ended up not getting across the line, the Brisbane Heat.
No, I'm going for it. I reckon he's going for it. Give him a licence. 1 good strike all over.
Struck the ball nicely in Melbourne, didn't he? The nice hard strikes down the ground.
Well, his shots over mid-off. He tends to just slice the ball. He's got that arc.
Third man.
Yeah, third man's up, the man's back on the rope. It's not going to be... That's not going to worry Abbott. I think if he gets hold of it, it's going to clear the men straight anyway.
13 off the over, 1 ball to come. Abbott with 6 required for the win. He goes straight down the ground. There's a man on the rope, and the catch is taken by Labuschagne. And again, the Heat fight back.
I knew he'd go for it. I knew he'd go for it. He just didn't get enough elevation. He hit it well. I don't mind that. You know, that shot was on, but he just didn't execute it right as he shakes his head on the way out. And we're down to the last over, boys. Howie, you've been tipping it all night. You got it right.
Yeah, you can see the Bunnings Warehouse replay there. You're right, June. He got the ball that he was after, gave himself a bit of room outside the leg stump and just caught it on the toe end of the bat. Weren't hard enough, just went a little bit too flat to carry over the man. Labuschagne on the long-on boundary. And Dwarshuis, the new man to the crease. Johan Botha will stay on strike. As you said, Junior, they didn't cross. Now, what the Sixers don't want is Botha to get a single first ball and expose the new batsman. All sorts of pressure will come on him then.
It's amazing. Well, they don't want him to get out. That'd be even worse. But, you know, you get it down to the last over. Even 6, you know, that's pressure, isn't it, for the batting side, particularly when you're 7 down. Ben Cutting's going to be the man who's going to have the ball in hand for the Heat. Will he come round the wicket? He likes to come round the wicket at the death. Dwarshuis is no mug with the bat, but under pressure, needing to lay bat on ball to get into the final. That's a different ball game. Cutting's going to be nervous too.
McCullum is making moves. He needs 4 arms out there at the moment, Brendan McCullum. He's trying to put every fielder in his act. I don't know what that is. Move a bit left and right.
He'd be a fair chess player, wouldn't he?
Well, I hope that wasn't to the same fielder.
Yeah, there's a bit either way. Either that or the dab, I don't know. Like a bit of dab in it.
So
Carlos Brathwaite there.
Cutting. Can he defend? We may end up with a super over to get into a final.
Happy to give a single away, aren't they? Happy to give the one. That's what McCullum's saying. Right on the edge of the circle, boys. All the men inside on the edge.
He's got an interesting field as well, Junior. He's got third man up and quite fine, but they've got a deep guy like at a really square third man for that reverse sweep that he plays. He does play a reverse sweep and a lap sweep against the fast bowlers. He's got 4 in the ring on the offside. McCullum's going to want Botha to try and hit over mid-off.
He's all right hitting there too. He hit a 4 the previous over, wide mid-off.
Yeah, Cutting's got 4 out on the leg side, so you'd think that he's got a bowl into the wicket and an off cutter that's going to cut out to that leg side boundary.
Hard to bowl to Botha because he's got so many shots.
6 required. Short. Oh. It's a dot. Well done too by Pearson because it bounced awkwardly in front of him.
It sounded like there's a little nick on there. There's a couple of noises. I thought it might have been bat and maybe shoulder on the way through, but didn't carry to Pearson anyway. Dot ball.
Slow ball bouncer. Definitely hit the shoulder where there was an edge on it. I'm not sure. No, just shoulder. Good change up from Ben Cunning's. 2 men out there for that flat batted shot. 106 k's an hour on the off to speedometer. What's next? Yorker, another slower ball. Who knows?
Cutting with all the pressure on him. Botha works it away fine. There'll only be 1 in it. So now it comes to Ben Dwarshuis. He's been sitting in the sheds for the last 19 overs, watching his teammates get it done. Now it's up to him.
That was a good result for the Heat, wasn't it? A single, getting Johan Botha off strike. There's no mug with the bat, but now we'll see 300 field changes on this particular ball, Howie, I reckon.
So Nathan Lyon there swinging the bat. He might be required. It was fantastic 4 wickets with the ball. Let's have a look at these two.
Call him the octopus, B. McCullum. Arms and legs everywhere.
The octopus. I like it. It's been a fantastic night at the Gabba. 5 still required. The Heat looked gone at various stages when Moses Enriquez was batting. Not sure how long this innings has run for. McCullum's had issues with the time before.
Highest score of 19 in the tournament. Ben Dwarshuis.
He's having a chat with Botha now in the middle as McCullum gives further instructions to Cutting, whose mind must just be about exploding out of his head.
Let's see what he comes up with here.
What are you thinking, Rick?
Well, he's got 2 guys behind square on the leg side here. I think I'd have one of those into a mid-wicket in front of the batsman's eyes, just where he can see him, because the last thing they want here is for Dwarshuis just to knock one into that leg side field and get off strike.
Cutting to Dwarshuis, moves around his crease, gets it high on the bat. He hurries off for 1. They're not going to come back. Not a bad result.
Yeah, good result. 4 off 3. 3 for a super over. One good shot will do it for the Sixers.
How do you reckon both benches are down there?
Oh, that's too much for that young fella. He's had a big night of the cricket. He shut down.
Nice and comfy there, though, wasn't he, Howie?
Biting their nails there. Sydney Sixers, Hughes. Enrique still hasn't taken the pads off. And still more changes from the Octopus.
I know the Sydney Sixers coach pretty well, Greg Shippard. He'll be pretty nervous down there in the dugout. He'll be wandering around. Might even be in the change rooms, actually. We'll be able to watch these.
You think so?
No, he'll be down there, but he'll be a bit toey.
Can Boda do it with one strike? He goes very fancy. It's caught! It's out! There's a big shout and he's given him! Pearson takes the catch. Have a look at Cutting. Boda's not happy, but the umpire's told him, you're done.
Straight off the shoulder, it looked like. Boda's made a huge plea to the umpire. It's a big decision to be made. You've got to go, though, son. You're on your way. He attempted the reverse lap with those 4 fielders up inside on the offside. Bunnings Warehouse replay. Oh, off the bicep, the right bicep. Balloons through to Pearson, takes a simple catch.
So it's a good catch from Pearson. He had to get up high, slower ball bouncer. Yeah, right off the bicep, the right bicep. It nearly cleared Pearson. Got up in the air, jagged it in. And the new batsman will be on strike. They did not cross there as well. So Nathan Lyon on strike, who's actually quite not a bad player. He can hit a boundary or two. They've actually got that wrong. Lyon's on strike. Ben Dawson's will have to swap it round, yeah. But it wasn't a great decision. You could see why he gave it. There was bats and gloves and shoulders very close to each other.
Nathan Lyon, the new man to the crease. He did the job, took 4 wickets earlier on. Now he needs 4 runs.
Well, I don't know what Ben Dawson's doing. You're at the other end, mate. Away you go.
Just trying the oldest trick in the book there.
Yeah, I was hoping there's no TV replay, I guess. There's nowhere near crossing. We've seen that. He's about 3 kilometres away.
5 metres away from crossing. He must think it's when the umpire makes his decision, not when the captain.
Here we go, boys.
What can he do? Nathan Lyon, 4 required to put his team into the Big Bash final.
Loves a sweep shot. Loves a sweep shot.
Little paddle sweep, maybe a top edge. It can run down to fine leg.
Cutting
shot
to Nathan Lyon with 4 required. It's a dot. It could be a run out. It's a dot. And the Sydney Sixers will need 3 off the final ball to make the final. 2 for a super over. Anything less, and the Brisbane Heat are off to the big dance.
Well, well, well. How good an over has this been from Ben Cutting? Absolutely magnificent over so far.
Because they'll take 2. The Sixers will take 2. This has been a tremendous comeback by the Heat. The Sixers were going to win in a canter 4 or 5 overs ago, but pressure, a couple of wickets, a couple of lazy shots. And all of a sudden, the Heat are back right in it. Ben Dawson, what can he do? Can hit a 2 somewhere, maybe. They're surely going to have to bring one of these 2 men that are behind square into mid-wicket.
Well, yeah, that's right, because they're not. It's either going to be 1 or 4 down there, isn't it?
Yep.
But they can get a 2 to that mid-wicket region, so I agree with you. Looks like it's going to stay the same, though.
Gee, I'll tell you what, that's where they're going to bunt it if they can. On that leg side, just anywhere in front of the umpire, you get it past the circle, you will get 2.
Is he going to be gutsy enough, June, to bowl a full wide one? Is he going to go have a crack at that wide line, go for the glory?
Mid-off's deep, but he's in off the fence. Here we go.
Dorcius with the season on the line for the Sixers. He swings. It's high in the air. It might
They'll get 2 here. They'll get 2, boys.
No. We are set for a super over to make the final of the Big Bash. The match is tied. Cutting, smiling. The crowd are on their feet. It hung in the air. Fielders came from everywhere.
Well, it's right to mid-wicket, Howie. It's right
We
to
called
where
it.
we said mid-wicket had to be. Now, this is where all the decisions start. Who's going to open the batting here? Moses Enriquez can't believe what's just happened.
Explain to us what happens from here, Rick.
Well, super over. Sixers will bat first. They'll come back out unlimited wickets. They can lose as many wickets as they like in 1 over. There'll be all sorts of discussions going on down on the boundary line, down in that dugout. Enriquez has got to be one. He's got to open the batting. He looks in a different class than everyone else. Probably Munro or Hughes. Maybe Munro at 3. Maybe.
I think it'll be Munro. I don't think it'll be Hughes.
So there is a 5-minute break here before the super over takes place. We'll take one quick break, then we'll be back with all the build-up. Who is going to make the Big Bash final to take the Scorchers? We have got a super over in front of a packed-out crowd at the Gabba. This is the reaction of Ben Cutting getting the big wicket of Johan Botha. And that's sending us into a super over. 2 required off the last ball for a super over. It's skied high in the air off the bat of Dorchester. There was no one at mid-wicket. So we've got a super over. The Heat will bowl first. Brendan McCullum will choose his bowler for 6 deliveries. He'll also choose the bowler's end, which you would imagine they'll come from the far end. The Sixers can lose many wickets as they want in the over. Their total then has to be matched by the Heat. If it's matched by the Heat, then it comes down to the most boundaries hit in both the match and the super over. So there's a few calculations going on. But basically it's a 1 over game.
Yeah, we saw that last week at the MCG, didn't we, with the super over in the women's game, that scores were tied at the end of the game, and then at the end of the super over it went back to a boundary count back, if you like.
Who do you bowl?
Probably stick with the man that's hot, probably go back to Cutting again. Interesting to see what he does here. He's an experienced player now, Ben Cutting. Think about their other fast bowlers, Steckity, Wildermuth, do not have the experience that Ben Cutting has. So I'll be surprised if it's not him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it'll be Cutting, and the batting side of it, I think Enriquez definitely be one. Whether it's Munro, maybe Daniel Hughes. You gamble with Nick Maddinson, who hasn't been in the best of form.
Well, just think about this ground, Junior. There probably is a long side for the right-hander there. Maybe they probably have to bring a left-hander and a right-hander out here, I reckon, at the top of the order. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Munro or even give Maddinson a go again.
Just the boundary count at the moment. In the first innings, the Sixers have hit 19 boundaries. The Heat have hit 18. But if it's a tied super over situation, it goes to the total boundaries for the 20 overs plus the 1 extra.
Okay. So they're going to make 1 up on the Sixers, the Heat, if it's a tie.
I'm not sure if there's any limit on the number of fielding changes Brendan McCullum can make in place of 1 super over, but it could be a record. Maddison's got pads on.
They're going Munro and Enriquez. Don't mind that.
Well, he's hard to plan to, isn't he?
Well, he could actually lap a sweep of 6, couldn't he, Munro? Get down and
yep, he can.
Short boundary behind him. I don't know if there's more pressure on the batsman or the bowlers. You feel like if you bat first, you need a dozen, don't you? Sort of as a decent score.
Well, that beautifully attired lady in the magnificent hat. She had a big night. She's decked out in the full teal gear, the earrings. So because the Sixers batted second, due to the playing conditions, they now have to bat first. So it's Henriquez who batted wonderfully well with Munro, who is inventive to say the least. He can bat right-handed, left-handed. He was playing right-handed defensive shots with a left-handed stance there at one point.
Who's going to take strike? Looks like Munro's going to take strike. I would have thought, no. Hang on. I would have thought Enriquez might have taken strike, but Munro's going to face the first ball. Interesting move, considering Enriquez hit everything out of the middle.
What about that last over from Ben Cutting and all the excitement? He took a wicket and only went for 5 off it.
It's pressure.
Yeah.
Certainly pressure. Your whole season is on the line. The last over of the semi-final, and he came through with the goods, did Ben Cutting. Had a little bit of luck. We saw that with the wicket of Johan Botha, but that happens.
I think we're both a little surprised that, I know it's easy up here in the heat of the moment, but Brendan McCullum didn't have a mid-wicket, because that was the obvious gap on the field. That's gone, though. What's in front of us now is a very, very exciting 2 overs of cricket.
The regulation field in place as well. Fine leg and third man up inside the circle, backward point and cover. So the deep men on the offside, only the 2 out. Deep point and long off. You see 3 out on the fence on the leg side.
McCullum, you'd imagine, will have a job to do with the bat. Interesting to see who bats out the over with him. All right, cutting to the inventive Munro. It's a slower ball, a chance for a run out, and it's a dot. It's a bye.
Good slow ball too. Munro threw the shot. And Enriquez smart enough, good match awareness to get through for the bye. I thought he probably should have been on strike to start with, but he's there now for the second ball.
Yeah, there's no doubt one of the things they would have spoken about, Junior, in the break was make sure there are no dot balls, anything that goes through to the keeper. Let's try and scurry through. Every run so crucial in this super over. So they've got 4 out on the leg side for Enriquez. Long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square and fine leg. Cover inside, point inside.
It's got to be another slow ball bouncer, doesn't it? Another slow ball, short one.
Enriquez on strike. It's short, it's high on the bat. It won't get out to the rope. They'll only get a couple, so advantage cutting in the Brisbane heat from the first 2 deliveries.
She was there to hit 2. He'd be disappointed with that, Enriquez. He knew that was the sort of delivery that was going to come to him. Got it high on the bat. Good start from cutting. Will he be brave enough to bowl 3 slow ball bounces in a row?
Well, I hope they haven't thought about the history of the Sixers. They've been in 2 super overs in the past and they've lost them both.
It's fallen on pace. It's hit big on the leg side. It's over the rope for a 6. Big hit out there.
Lovely strike. Quicker ball, fuller ball. 135 k's. That's a big hit out there. That's great striking under pressure from Enriquez. Really still base there. Good swing in the bat. That's a good blow. Important one.
Yeah, went for the change-up Yorker, didn't he? Went for the quicker one, just missed his length. Got right into the swinging zone of Enriquez. Went for a maximum. When he comes again, cutting. Slow ball. Out. Oh, missed. A little off-cutter there, June. Looked out of the glove. Hey?
That's a no ball. My goodness.
So
wow.
That's obviously the second one. Over the shoulder for the over.
That is a cardinal sin. That's a 7-ball over for the Sixers. That's a real bonus.
Plus a free hit.
That's right. That's trouble now.
Yeah, well, that's 2 balls, 2 short balls over the shoulder in the over. Not sure if he was aware of that either. Ben cutting.
Munro with a free hit. G beats him. Can Pearson hit the stumps this time? He can. Enriquez was going like an Olympic sprinter. It'll be close.
Safe, I reckon, Howie. And covered by about a foot, I reckon, by the look of that. Enriquez.
Disappointing for Munro, missing out on the free hit. Another slower ball. And he's home. Good stretch there from Enriquez. I tell you, slide your back, youngsters. Gets Enriquez back on strike, more importantly. What's that, 3 balls to go?
3 balls to go, 11 off the over so far.
2 to go, I think, yeah. Need to update that ticker on the screen there. Yeah, 2 balls, there you go.
Now. Thanks, guys.
Now the boundary makes it very difficult for the Heat, even though McCullum's a freak striker of the ball. Same field.
He's got to take the pace off again, doesn't he? Just hope he doesn't drag it down quite as short as the last one.
Oh, it's in the air. It'll be either 6 or caught, one of the 2. 6! Tremendous striking from Henriquez. That was in the slot, but you've still got to execute the shot. And the Sixers bench, have a look at him. Great stuff from the skipper. He's been a standout tonight. Oh, that was there, wasn't it, to be hit? But he's put it away nicely. Just rolled over the top of it slightly, but still good enough. Great effort down there by Sammy Haslat. That looked like a slam dunk if he had a basketball in his hand. Unfortunately, it's 6 runs, 18, 1 ball to go.
It's getting ugly here.
Very ugly.
Cutting.
That's another good hit on the leg side. Looks like it might get to the rope. Well done by Moses Henriquez. A pressure situation, and they take 22 off it. So 23 required. Munro didn't score. Henriquez 18 off 5. But if there's one man in this situation that can score the 23, it's the Heat skipper, Brendan McCullum.
That's tremendous striking from Henriquez. Brendan McCullum's the man under the pump. And the Sixers will feel pretty confident. That's a big, big over. All due to that man there. Munro, nothing. Can't believe he took the first ball. Wasted the first one. Thank goodness they got through for the bye.
Naught from 2, wasn't he? Colin Munro. The skipper stood tall again. So what are they going to do? The Brisbane Heat. McCullum will be one. You think Pearson will be the other one that'll probably come out. Cutting will have the pads on. Haslam will have the pads on.
Well, they need nearly 4 a ball. That's very, very tough to do. They'll be hoping for a no ball to give them an extra ball and a free hit, but I'm not sure that the Sixers will fall for that one. I suppose Sean Abbott will probably bowl the over, will he? Maybe Johan Boda. Ben Dorshus is warming up.
I was actually thinking about that before with the Brisbane Heat huddle when they're having a bit of a chat around their group. All the fast bowlers are trying to hide behind one another, just in case so the captain couldn't see him.
The Sixers have got 8 blokes warming up there. They're not giving much away.
I don't think it'll be Jackson Bird to bowl. Cautious or Abbott, I think, will be the ones that most likely to bowl this over.
Well, who's McCullum going to fancy? I don't think it'll be Dorshus. He'll like his angle. Hitting through that offside.
Who's he going to bat with, McCullum?
Well, I think he'll just face the hole over. McCullum will just stand there.
Let's have a look at the...
Probably cutting.
Let's have a look. Sorry, June. There's 2 balls above the shoulder. This is the first one. In the end. So that's the first one to Munro. And then there was a second one.
This was dipping when it got to Henriquez, wasn't it?
And then there was a free hit for 2 deliveries above the shoulder.
Well, it's not in their batting position, I don't think. I think that's where it gets hard for the umpires.
In their stance.
It's actually in their standing position.
It's in their stance, yeah.
So that last one was very, very tight, wasn't it?
It was the right call, though, I think. I just wonder if Ben Cutting was aware of the first one, because if he was, it was a very gutsy delivery to try and bowl another slow ball, bounces somewhere around that shoulder region.
Wonder how itchy Chris Lynn is. I saw him earlier on down on the ground. Unfortunately, he's out injured.
Nearly as itchy as you there,
yeah, well,
Howie.
He's getting a bit tense, isn't it? But it's been the big build-up. McCullum's had an unbelievable tournament. He's had the whole country thrilled by the way he's batted. Well, it's the ultimate test of his striking now. 23 required.
It's a big
6
job,
balls.
though. It's a
It is.
huge job. I mean, a dozen, 14, you could say the Heat are favourites, but 23 to win it. Well, the Sixers are way, way in front, aren't they?
Yes. I think you asked me at the break or just before the end of the first innings of the game, whose camp I'd rather be in. Well, it's a pretty simple question now.
Still trying to work out who's going to bowl the over, are they, the Sixers? Nathan Lyon's warming up, but it couldn't possibly be Nathan Lyon, I don't think.
I think the only way it could be Nathan Lyon is if they send a left-hander out as well with McCullum. Be an option then maybe, because he might pinch a couple of balls to the left-hander, but if they send 2 right-handers out, I can't see the off-spinner bowling. I'm pretty sure it'll be Pearson that comes.
It'll be Pearson or Cutting, I reckon. One of those two.
It's a decision by committee at the moment. All the senior players and the Sixers.
Maybe they're waiting to see who does come out for the Heat.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. They would. They'd have matchups that they'd be more comfortable with for sure.
Dan Vittori, the Heat coach, in there.
Phil Jakes next to him there. Luke Feldman. Well, they've all warmed up so far. Nathan Lyon, Johan Boda, and the four quicks.
There's a man that loves a pressure situation, Johan Boda. Maybe he gets the ball with a spot in the Big Bash final to take on the Scorchers on Saturday night up for grabs. Ben Cutting has the helmet on. Massive hitter of the ball.
Well, we've seen Hazlitt, Cutting, Pearson so far. Only one we haven't seen just coming up the race now. There he is.
It's Cutting and
Brendan McCullum.
Got it right.
Well, he's pretty pumped up for the start of any batting innings, Brendan McCullum. Imagine the adrenaline going through his veins right now. All on the line for his team. Captain up here at the Brisbane Heat. And a terrific job right the way through this tournament. Now it's up to him and Ben Cutting. Try and pick up 23 runs from this super over. Sean Abbott's got his cap off. And he's going to bowl the over.
Once the two right-handers come out, I think that's when they changed to Abbott, who's been the go-to man.
Well, he's actually very similar to bowler to what Ben Cutting is. Very similar. He'll try and bowl some off-cutters into the pitch. He'll try and bowl a faster Yorker just to break up the rhythm of the batsman. And, of course, it's that man McCullum that'll take strike.
He'll sit back, won't he? He'll be looking to play that pull shot. Maybe the flat bat over deep mid-off.
.23 to win for Brendan McCullum's Heat to take on the Scorchers in the big final. The Sixers have got 1 foot there at the moment due to that man in the first 20 overs, Moses Enriquez, and then with a magnificent 22 off the super over. Haddon's going out for a chat with his captain.
This will be just wasting time. That's all Hads will be doing here, just trying to... McCullum was ready to go. Hads will be just out there just breaking it up a little bit again, slowing it all down. Stretching out this little bit of pressure from Brisbane Heat.
He's just swapping the field around, getting Nathan Lyon into that mid-wicket area. Guy with good hands. Daniel Hughes is going to swap spots with him.
Always names his bats after racehorses. I don't know what he's got for this job.
He needs black caviar, I reckon.
He might need Farlap for this one.
Black caviar or Winks.
Well, it's a sprint. It's only a sprint.
Go black caviar.
Full house. Season on the line for the Heat. Enriquez seems happy with the field now.
3 deep on the leg side fence. 2 inside backward point. Cover and a square leg in the circle. Oh, that's over the shoulder, possibly a wide. Not called. There's a bit of a glare from Brendan McCullum towards the square leg umpire as well. Got the teapot going.
They're not going to change their decision. It's a tight one, wasn't it? It's a tough one for the umpires to call. Oh. Don't forget it's in your standing position.
He does tend to get nice and low on his stance too, doesn't he, Brendan McCullum? But that one was touch and go. Fair enough, I reckon. Fair enough. What do you reckon?
Fair enough, it's the call? Or?
Fair enough for the bowler, yep.
McCullum gets it low on the bat. Cutting will come back for a second no matter what. McCullum's little legs get him home, but it's getting really difficult now.
21 from 4, that's real difficult. Four sixes will do it. Or 3 6s and a 4.
Will he be courageous enough to bowl that same ball again here? Sean Abbott, pace off it. I actually think McCullum hits the quicker balls better than he does anything that's got a slight change up of pace. Change in the field, cover goes back. Point comes up inside the circle. It's good work that from Enriquez.
Flat bats it, doesn't he, over cover.
Needs something big here, McCullum. It's down the leg side. It'll be a wide.
It's a big wide as well. Just a little bit of pressure as well, just on the bowler, Sean Abbott there.
They need a no ball that can go for 4, the Heat. That's their biggest hope. Get that foot behind the line, Sean Abbott. That's what he's got to make sure he does.
Fine leg now, comes up inside the circle, Junior. Deep backward square in place. 133 that last delivery on the optus speedometer. And comes Abbott again. Slower ball, hit hard. Oh my God, it's gone straight through the hands of, looks like Johan Botha down there at long on, and it might be a maximum. He made good ground to that, Botha. I never thought he was going to make it. He got there easily. I just went straight through his hands, and has it gone all the way? Oh, was that an air swing? Just clipped him on the...
That's only 4.
Outside of the finger. I think just closed his hands a little bit soon.
Oof. Could have broken his finger.
16 required with 3 deliveries left.
Not over yet.
Time for a maximum, June.
Yeah.
Come on, Baz.
He's got a sighter now, McCullum. Can't beat the man inside the rope, and the gas just goes right out of the Brisbane crowd.
You just heard it, didn't you?
You did.
Heard a big hush all around the Gabba. Geez, he'd be disappointed there too, Brendan McCullum. That was right in his arc, just a flick long and high over deep backward square. Some dejected faces there in the dugout.
Nothing surer than Cunning's going to hit this for 6.
Well, they need sundries now to get involved as some of the locals try and beat the crowd. Fine legs going back on the rope. And 2 deliveries left, seemingly for the Heat season.
It's an interesting position. It's about the finest fine leg I think I've ever seen. He's almost a long stop behind Brad Haddon, who's also standing a long way back there.
Yeah, for the scoop, the Dill scoop.
Right, doesn't really matter where they are. They just got to go for 6, doesn't it?
Abbott to Cutting. It's off the toe of the bat, straight down to the man on the rope, who just affords it to bounce Dorcius and drops it in. And now they're really turning. Look at Joe Burns. He realises the season's done. And the Heat crowd, they're running for the exits.
Well, we can go back, Junior, to the last ball in regulation play. Sky ball from Dorcius landed just outside the circle at mid-wicket. It's easy to say it now, but if there was one in place, Brisbane win the game.
Yeah, easy from up here. We did call it.
McCullum high on the bat, right down on the rope. He kicks the ground. It's a crazy night. The ball ends up over the rope. McCullum hits a 6 to finish it, but the Sixers are through to the Big Bash final against the Scorchers in a super over.
Terrific effort, Moses Enriquez and the Sydney Sixers. Terrific game of cricket. The Brisbane Heat did an amazing job through their bowling innings to fight their way back into the game, but costly over from Ben Cutting in the super over, and we shouldn't be harsh on him because he actually got them back into the game with the last over in regulation play, but well deserved to the Sydney Sixers. They make their way to the final again.
Yeah, they find a way to win all the time, the Sixers. They were the better team throughout the night, I thought. Had the game in control, the Heat. Give them credit, they were courageous, they hung in there, but I think the better teams won.
Well, you mentioned Ben Cutting. He took a wicket and only 5 runs off that final 20th over to keep his team in it. And he gets the job with a super over. He goes for 22. And the season's done.
He's been great too, Brendan McCullum, hasn't he? He's been a real entertainment package. He's done his best to manoeuvre his bowlers throughout the tournament. Not a lot of strike power there, but he's done well. Unfortunately, they've come up short against a very competitive and experienced Sixers team tonight.
Who will travel to Perth to take on Justin Langer and his Scorchers on Saturday night in the big final.
Bit of history there too. Remember that final at Canberra? Went down to the last.
Yep.
Brett Lee finishing up his career. Let's go down to Ros Kelly. In fact, I think, Ros, you're in the studio. What an absolutely dramatic night of T20 cricket.
What a match, Howie. We're going to get all the reaction very soon, straight after the break, but an emotional roller coaster for the Heat fans. 35,000 of them here tonight, absolutely shattered. They've ridden the team's success this entire season. They are out of the competition. The Sydney Sixers progressing through to the big final, where they will face the most decorated side in the competition in the big final on Saturday. Stay with us. Plenty more coming up after the break.